It started innocently enough. Jason, the youngest son, arrived at his grandfather's funeral, a man he barely knew, but who had left an inheritance that everyone in the family was talking about. It wasn't that Jason didn't care about the money, it was just that he didn't care about the family drama that came with it. He had always kept to himself, staying out of the petty squabbles that had plagued his relatives for years. The lawyer's office was crowded, filled with his aunts, uncles, and cousins, all whispering in hushed tones. They had all assumed the inheritance would be split among the family. But when the lawyer read the will, something unexpected happened. Jason was named the sole beneficiary of his grandfather's entire estate. For a moment, the room was silent. Everyone exchanged confused glances. It didn't seem right. Jason wasn't close to his grandfather. He hadn't been part of the family's core for years. Why would Grandpa leave everything to him? Jason, stunned but trying to keep calm, nodded slowly.
This can't be true, Jason. Really?
It's what Grandpa wanted.
But, Jason, you're not even close to the family. We've been here for him. We've sacrificed. Are you sure this is what you want?
Jason could feel the tension mounting. The whispers started. How could he take it all? Wasn't he just a stranger to them? He looked around the room, trying to make sense of the situation. His cousin Rachel gave him a sharp look.
You're taking everything? After all these years of ignoring us?
Jason's heart began to pound, but he stayed quiet, knowing this moment could change everything. He opened his mouth to speak, but before he could say anything, Uncle Mark slammed his fist on the table.
You have no right to this. You're nothing but an outsider. Grandpa was good to you, but you don't belong here. You think you can just walk in and take it all? This isn't your family, Jason.
The words stung, but something inside him snapped. His Aunt Liz wasn't finished.
You don't even know who you are. You're adopted, Jason. You don't share our blood. You're not one of us.
Jason felt the blood drain from his face, but the shock quickly turned to clarity. He had suspected something like this for years, but hearing it aloud made it real. The family had always treated him differently. It wasn't just that he was distant. They had never truly accepted him. Now, they wanted to tear him down because he had something they thought was theirs. His jaw tightened. The anger boiled inside him, but he refused to give in to it. Instead, he stood up slowly, looking each one of them in the eye, his voice calm but carrying a weight that none of them could ignore.
You're right. I'm not one of you. But that's the thing. I don't need to be. I never have.
The room was still. His family watched him, stunned.
I'm not here to argue who's family by blood. I'm here because my grandfather chose me. He trusted me. And maybe that's something none of you ever understood. You think I don't belong, but in the end, it's not about bloodlines or names. It's about who someone believes in, who they know will carry on their legacy. And he believed in me.
His voice was steady, clear. He wasn't pleading or justifying. He was telling them the truth.
You may not like it, but this is my inheritance. I'm not here to beg for your approval, and I'm not going to apologize for something that was never yours to begin with.
With that, he turned and walked out of the room. His relatives sat there, stunned, speechless. Their attempts to belittle him, to tear him down, had only made him stronger. Jason wasn't the scared, out-of-place son anymore. He had claimed his place, and no one could take that from him. And as the door clicked behind him, he knew. He wasn't just inheriting money. He was inheriting something far more valuable: his self-respect, his peace, and the realization that he didn't need their approval. He had everything he needed to move forward, and he would rise above their petty hatred, showing them that in the end, it wasn't about blood. It was about what you made of yourself.